What is going on, everyone, and welcome back to another Sports Talk on Tap video. We're here. You can find daily videos about the NFL, NBA, MLB, or NHL. And in today's episode, what else are we going to talk about? The NFL Week 1, Colin, is officially upon us. We gave our, playoff predictions last week of what teams think will make it, early Super Bowl preview. But officially, the real thing starts here. Week 1 starts tonight, where we have the Week 1 games are amazing, but what better way to start off with an AFC Championship rematch where the two-time Super Bowl champion, now reigning two-time, looking for their three-peat, Kansas City Chiefs open up the season against the Baltimore Ravens, who were the 1 seed last year, but ultimately, in a defensive game, 17-10, weird stuff happened that game. Zay Flowers fumbled at the goal line. A lot of things could have went Baltimore's way. I remember we both picked Baltimore in that game, but unfortunately, yeah, things didn't pan out that way. But, Colin, I'll let you go first. We'll rotate on who picks first. I'll give you this first game. Does Baltimore get their revenge, or does Kansas City start off strong in their three-peat?
I think Kansas City is going to start off slow again. I know they kind of had a little bit of a rut last season, too. I just think the Ravens are coming back with a little more grit. I know we already kind of did the whole playoff thing, so you know how I feel about where the Chiefs are going this year. But I just don't think they're going to have this game. I think it's going to be a weird one for them. Coming off a Super Bowl win, they're probably a little cocky, probably a little setback. They have a few new players to try out, getting used to how things work now. So I think the Ravens are a little bit more of a put-together, determined team in this one.
Yeah. I can see why, and I'm really excited to see how Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson look in this game. But this is going to be the first one we disagree with. And for anyone, following last year towards the end of the season, we did, week-by-week picks. I think Colin beat me up by a couple games. But this year, we're really going to try and keep tally of, who's up in the season series, who wins per week. So obviously, Chiefs-Ravens, we're going to go different. I could see why you'd obviously pick the Ravens in this one. And I think, they're going to, I think be more successful and want to put an emphasis on running the ball, which they didn't do in the championship game. Yeah. But for me, the Chiefs, I talked about it, they only got better this offseason. I think Xavier Worthy might have the big play here or there. I think Pacheco, Rashid Rice, a healthier Travis Kelce week 1 playing this year like he did against the Lions. Chris Jones didn't play either. He's back now. Losing L'Jarius Sneed may hurt, but you still have Trey McDuffie. And for Baltimore, it's more so just their offensive line, 3 new players on that starting offensive line. So that could provide some problems, I think, for me in this game. I think it's going to come down to a game-winning field goal, maybe by Harrison Butker, because he always makes the game-winning kicks, I feel like, for the Chiefs. So I think it's going to be one of those games, 23-20. We're going to see some points, but these are 2 great defenses as well. Kansas City, a majority of the reason why they won the Super Bowl was because of their defense. And obviously Baltimore was number 1 last year. But losing Mike McDonald may hurt a little bit. He was obviously a great defensive coordinator, and now he's off to Seattle. But, you still have Roquan Smith. You still have a lot of dogs on that side of the ball, Kyle Hamilton. So it's going to be a very good game, but I'll ride with the home team here in just a barely close game of what could be an AFC championship game, coming up in a couple months in January. But, I like Kansas City to come out stronger. They're 5-1 in their opening games under Mahomes. So I think they're going to be a little bit better and get back on track in this one. But, it's going to be a great game regardless, Chiefs or Ravens. But, a little side bet. I have Zay Flowers going over on his receiving yards tonight. So hopefully that will at least help me. Yeah. So then, Colin, we move into what I believe might be the first Friday night game ever in Brazil, São Paulo. It's obviously been dangerous. Every team got the memo just to stay inside until, the game. So that'll be interesting to see kind of players' experiences after this. This game's going to be very good, though. Another great game, I think. The Eagles want to bounce back, and the Packers, are up and coming. But in this one, it's going to be, I think, also another close game. But I'm going to go with the Eagles here. Just a gut feeling. I think their offense will get back on track. You obviously have Jalen Hurts, who may not be the best thrower, but, has shown a lot of great signs and obviously can use his legs. You have A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert, all healthy. This offensive line, even without Jason Kelce, is still top 5 with all their players around. The biggest question mark is their defense. but adding Quinion Mitchell in the draft and just, getting healthier, I think that front seven is obviously loaded. They did, try to fix some things in that secondary. I think this is going to be a dogfight game because the Packers are still up and coming. It's just a game where I trust the experience of where the Eagles have been before just to pull out a close dub. I think, the Packers, rightfully so, have all that hype. Me and you both had them, NFC Championship bound around there. But regular season-wise, I like the Eagles in a bounce-back game from just a rough end of the year last year.
Cool. I think that's fair.
Yeah. So who do you have in that one?
Just a second.
All right. Obviously, Eagles. Funny thing is, for anyone watching, is neither team can wear.
I'm going with the Packers.
All right. So we disagree on two. So you're going with the Packers. So 2 for 2 in disagreement so far.
Another hungry game. Eagles could probably win it. They probably will. I want to see the Packers. I'm coming out with a few moonshots to start the season.
That one's not even a moonshot.
The Packers are a great team. Eagles are just absolutely loaded, so it's going to be a tough matchup for them. Big moment for Jordan Love here, in my opinion. But regardless, I'm going to have to go with the Packers here. I think the Eagles have a little bit to learn. That a lot of the times throughout really any sport or any really any sport in general, anytime you see a really stacked team with a lot of big names, they kind of run into a little bit of problems, at least early on in the season. So I'm going to go with the Packers on this one, just a little more of a compact kind of unit.
Yeah, that's what people have said who are picking the Packers. They're trusting the new guys or the guys that have been together, even though they're a younger team, from last season. The Eagles added a bunch of new guys, so still the fit might be weird, at least the first week or so. In Brazil, it's week 1. Anything can happen, so I don't blame you there. Next game, the first game of our Sunday slate, Panthers at Saints. I think the Panthers are going to be much better this year, but that still doesn't take me away. I think the Saints defense is still around the top 10 unit. I'm not in love with Derek Carr, but he has Chris Olave, who I like. Kamara is still solid despite aging. I just trust the weapons on the Saints more to get a close dub at home against the Panthers.
Valid.
And who are you riding with in this game?
Saints all day. I mean, this is an automatic one.
Right. First one we agree on.
Nothing to look for here. This is honestly going to be probably one of the games that you kind of just either skim over, check in when maybe a commercial is going on or something like that. Maybe watch the highlights after the game.
Yeah.
Something really important going on here. Two teams that are probably going to do absolutely nothing this season. Nothing to watch for here. Saints are the better team, period.
Yeah. Speaking of, two teams that probably won't be in the playoffs, unfortunately, we'll go to the next game where my Minnesota Vikings travel to the New York Giants. In this one, I think these two teams are kind of similar in a way for me, where the defenses, I think, are pretty good, especially the front seven for the New York Giants when you trade for Brian Burns. You got a lot of guys, Dexter Lawrence, who could disrupt problems. Same with the Vikings. You got Jonathan Grenard, 14 sacks with the Texans last year. Andrew Van Ginkel from the Dolphins. You had Dallas Turner in the first round, edge rusher from Bama. Looked like a stud in the preseason. I think the secondaries, Giants, you have Deontay Banks, who had a great first season and, is excited for his matchup with Justin Jefferson Sunday. So I'm excited to see that.
Hell yeah.
And obviously the Vikings secondary, they've had some unfortunate deaths with their rookie class and also injuries. But they did add Stephon Gilmore late. He signed Shaq Griffin. So they just have more so a veteran room this year. So I think, Gilmore will obviously be solid for them. He's just been a solid guy, even though he's not that Patriots 2019 Defensive Player of the Year. But the reason why
he's a vet, he knows what he's doing.
He knows what he's not going to screw up. He's just going to be there, play solid, like he has for the Cowboys and stuff. But the reason why I don't even really think it's that biased of a pick, they're a favorite on the road for a reason, is I just trust the Vikings weapons more. Sam Darnold, Daniel Jones, they're just kind of question marks. But I'm excited to see what Sam Darnold can do because he hasn't had a guy like Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison. So I just trust the weapons of the Vikings more. Malik Neighbors could be a stud, but, at the end of the day, it is a rookie, so we don't know. Daniel Jones is still kind of wants that redemption season. But I think the Vikings get their revenge from their 2022 wildcard loss at home when they won 13 games to the Giants. and get a small victory because I probably won't be picking them a lot this season. So this is a game I think they can squeak out and they win on the road. Vikings for me.
Totally. I'm not sold on the Vikings rookie quarterback. I'm not sold on really anything that they've got going on right now, at least. I mean, that could change after this game.
JJ McCarthy's him, but unfortunately, he's
we'll see. But honestly, I'm gonna have to go with the Giants here. Daniel Jones was rocking that beard, a little bit more swagger going on with him. Just lost Saquon, got something to prove. He's probably the highest paid player on the team. I don't think the Giants will do as good as the Vikings this season, but I think they're going to come out and show out.
Okay. I like the beard analysis. We'll see.
The beard analysis.
We'll see. Who knows? Because if he drops 4 touchdowns, that beard will pop up like Daniel Jones' greatest beard of all time on Ghetto Gronk. So, that's that. So, yeah, 3 out of 4 disagreements so far.
Yep.
Next game, Titans Bears. This is a game I'm really excited for. Caleb Williams debuted obviously in Chicago, but for me, I have Tennessee spoiling it. I think Tennessee. I loved what they did this offseason. It was time to move on from Derrick Henry.
Who is their quarterback?
Will Levis.
So it is Will Levis. Okay.
Yeah, Will Levis actually kind of showed some good signs last year. Was kind of an underrated starting QB. He played very solid for them. D-Hop. Yeah, D-Hop you have there. You signed Calvin Ridley, 1,000-yard receiver, even though it was disappointing, just kind of didn't fit. I think he'll fit in much better with this offense. Brian Callahan coming over from the Bengals OC job. So I love this Tennessee team. They added L'Jarius Sneed, arguably the best cornerback on the Chiefs last season because Trent McDuffie was there. But you get a really solid cornerback there, and just a bunch of group of weapons to help out. You get Tony Pollard in free agency to be a receiving back as well. So Will Levis has some weapons here, man. And I think Tennessee's been a sneaky pick for wild card teams from some people for a reason because they have this sleeper offense and a defense that is very solid as well. You still have Jeffrey Simmons on that front 7. So I think the Bears I think this will be a great game. I think this is honestly a 50-50 game just because, the Bears, the way they ended last season and adding Caleb Williams could, do great. I think it's just going to be one of those games where a road team eats it out. It's week 1. Weird things happen. Give me the Titans.
Yeah. Yep. Not sold on the Bears at all. Not sold on Caleb Williams at all. Probably one of the worst number 1 draft picks of all time, in my opinion.
Really?
Will go down as one of the worst number 1 draft picks of all time, in my opinion. Don't like anything about that pick. Should have wasted it on Marvin Harrison Jr. or something like that. The Bears have been a bad team for a while and probably will continue to be a bad team for a while.
That's the one thing. Bears have never been able to develop a quarterback. So
never.
We'll see. But this is a great infrastructure. So, I mean, if he doesn't fit here, he probably won't fit anywhere. So,
yeah, we'll see. I'm going with the Titans for sure.
Yeah. All right. So, surprisingly, one where I thought was an upset and we've been disagreeing a lot, we agree on. So, 2 out of 5 so far we've agreed on. So, with that being said, let's see if we can continue that into an AFC South game where we have the Texans going to the Colts. I think this could be an underrated game, but there's just too many question marks for me with Anthony Richardson, how it looks. They are at home, though, so it wouldn't surprise me if they could pull off the upset just because a division rival. But with the Texans, you have C.J. Stroud, a dog. You added Danielle Hunter. As a Vikings fan, I can tell you, straight up dog. You get Stephon Diggs in a trade, and, he may be a diva, but he's still really talented. Nico Collins, Tank Dell coming back. That's a great trio right there. Yep. The defense, only got better. I think this team is destined to continue to becoming something. This could be one of the game where CJ Stroud, there's film on him. Does he, struggle early on? I think, anything can happen in a division game, but I have the Texans eking this one out and starting off their campaign to be one of the best teams in the AFC strong with a dub.
Yeah, this is my favorite matchup of the week, honestly. Okay. I really like both quarterbacks. Very fun to watch. Both very talented, very athletic. I'm going to give the edge to CJ Stroud here. Just has shown me more. I'd love to pick Anthony Richardson here because I do like the idea of him as a quarterback better. but CJ Stroud has just shown me way, way more. I wouldn't be surprised if the Colts pulled up an upset because Stephon Diggs has a way with ruining games for his own team and stuff like that. I mean,
I have him on my fantasy team. Fingers crossed.
Great. Good luck with that. I mean, I think the Texans will pull this off, though. In my opinion, this is going to be a really good game to watch, though. Probably
Yeah,
favorite.
they're just a little bit more talented for me, to my liking. Where
a lot of it, like the Colts have nobody basically.
That's true. Actually, the Texans do have a lot more talent, but at home could get weird division, like I said, where maybe
Totally.
and the question mark with AR could be exciting, but we don't know, like you said, as much with him. So that's 2 in a row we've agreed on. If there was a time to make it 3 in a row, it'd be now. Patriots at Bengals. Jamar Chase is back at practice. Higgins is actually.
We were talking about that last time.
Yeah, he's downgraded to questionable, so I don't know if he'll play. But until proven otherwise, when he's out, even then, I still like the Bengals in this one. The Patriots, first game under new Aaron Jerome Mayo. Maybe the defense can keep it scrappy for a while, but Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase still there. You added Zach Moss. I like this defense. I'm not in love with it, but I think they'll be okay. Just with Brissett starting the Patriots, unless Javon Baker or Jalen Polk pulls off a 150 plus yard game, and same with Ramondre Stevenson. They're not pulling off this upset. Bengals win for me.
Yeah, not liking this matchup at all. I honestly don't even want to keep thinking about it. Even without Jamar Chase, maybe without Joe Burrow, this is a Bengals win.
Yeah, Jake Browning proved he can be a QB, so maybe they throw him in just to rest Joe Burrow.
This game is over.
Yeah, so all right, that's probably arguably a lot of people's locks of the week.
Yeah, GG's.
Yep, and then we head over to the Cardinals Bills, and this is my big upset my week in my pool host. I am picking the Cardinals to win this game. Marvin Harrison, I think, has a breakout game. Kyler Murray. And I think the defense, Jonathan Gannon, underratedly made it scrappy. They were a very competitive team. You still have James Conner, Trey McBride. There are weapons on this team, and losing Matt Milano hurts for Buffalo. And I think this is just one of those games where I think it's a game where Buffalo realizes, they need a number one like Stephon Diggs, and, the offense starts off slow. They need to figure things out. Josh Allen, I still think, will do his to help carry this team. But, there's always that crazy week one upset where we're like, holy crap, how did this happen? And I'm not going to overreact. I still think the Bills will have a winning record this year. But, I think the Cardinals will prove that the offense is legit. Like I said, Trey McBride really came on last year. Marvin Harrison, Kyler Murray, mobile. I think they just make enough plays and upset the Bills.
Agreed.
Who are you picking?
Not liking the Bills situation. Josh Allen's got to get out of there, or they got to build the team around him. I don't know what they're thinking.
Yeah. No. So are you picking the Cardinals too? Or are you going?
Yeah, I'm picking the Cardinals. I like Marvin Harrison Jr. a lot.
Because I thought you rolled your eyes like that was this awful pick, but I guess it was because we had the same pick.
No. Right. Yeah, I'm going with the Cardinals there. I'm not a big Kyler Murray guy or anything like that, but I think this is a Cardinals win. Not like the Bills at all.
All right. So surprisingly, on games where it's more controversial, we've actually agreed more, and we've been on a streak now for a while of 4 games. So will that be 5? Where we head to the Jaguars, Dolphins, 2 South Florida teams. So Miami's heat thing probably won't play as much of a factor with Jacksonville. And as you can tell, I'm obviously higher on the Jaguars than you are. I had them winning the division upset, but this is a 1:00 game, September. We know what we're getting from Miami. They're going to put up a war zone of numbers, just Madden stats. I think it wouldn't surprise me if they won even by a couple touchdowns. I think Jacksonville's defense, I do like Josh Allen against this questionable Miami offensive line, but the cornerbacks, they're just not going to keep up with Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Davon Achane out in the run.
Even if Raheem Mostert is a free agent right now, I would still start him. Because Miami is playing a regular season game.
Yeah, I'm picking the Dolphins here. I think it could be one of those games where it gets a 35-24 type of vibe. I'm going with the Dolphins to win and start off their regular season like they always do, strong in the Tua era with Mike McDaniel. So Dolphins for me. All right. Yep. So that's 5 in a row we've agreed on. So we are absolutely vibing now. But we head to an interesting game. Kirk Cousins debut at home with the Falcons.
We might disagree on this.
Yeah, this is a game where I honestly think Pittsburgh could win. But for me, I think I think this is just going to be we know what the Steelers defense is, and that could rough up Kirk Cousins a little bit.
Yeah.
But I still think this offensive line in Atlanta with Chris Lindstrom, they're one of the best, not one of the best, but top 10. They're a very solid offensive line. And you have just Drake London, Bijan Robinson, Kyle Pitts, their weapons here, where I just don't trust what Pittsburgh's doing on offense. When you talk about incompetence, Arthur Smith, Falcons revenge game, I guess. But I saw something today where Russell Wilson calf tightness. So we don't even know who's playing, whether it's him or Justin Fields. It may actually, help if Justin Fields starts in that case for the Steelers. But there's just too many question marks. I think it's not going to be the best game for Kirk Cousins in his Falcons era because the Pittsburgh Steelers defense is obviously scrappy. Mm-hmm. But I think it's one of those games where the Falcons win like 17-10, 17-14. I like what the Falcons did late, adding Judon and Simmons just to help get some names in that room. So give me the Falcons to pull out a close one-score game.
Yeah. Kirk has too many weapons to not win this game, especially with how shaky the Steelers are looking right now. Maybe if this were later in the season when they're a little more figured out, I would give this to the Steelers just off their defense alone. This is probably going to be a Falcons win, even though I don't like it.
Yeah. I don't really like it either, but, I'm riding it. So that's 6 in a row for us after starting off 1-4. So we still have 3 games to disagree on for anyone following so far. Chiefs, Ravens, Eagles, Packers, the first 2, and Vikings, Giants. Then the next game, 4:00 slate, we have Broncos at Seahawks, the first game in the Bo Nix era. But this Seattle
the
team,
most boring game ever.
Yeah, but I like what Seattle's doing, adding Mike McDonald to this defensive room. And I just think Geno Smith, DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, even though he's older, Jackson Smith-Njigba, I think he's going to have a breakout.
Tyler Lockett's like 50, bro.
He is, but he's always consistent, 800 yards. Jackson Smith-Njigba is honestly who I'm more excited to watch, though. I think he's going to have a breakout year in year 2. Give me the Seahawks to win like a 24-17 game. Not really sure what I'm going to get from the Broncos, but, we'll see what Bo Nix and Sean Payton can do.
Yeah, Geno will get it done. I like how consistent he's been. That's pretty much it. The Broncos are such a shit show right now.
Yeah. So that one makes us 7 in a row so far. The 4:00 game, AFC West matchup, Raiders, Chargers, first game of the John Harbaugh era. I'm really excited to see what this Chargers team looks like. They've obviously put an emphasis on the run with Joe Alt and adding him in the offensive line room with Rashawn Slater. You have Herbert coming back. I'm curious, does a guy like Ladd McConkey step up? Because we saw what Quinn Johnson did in year 1. It was not pretty. Can he have a bounce back year in year 2 to at least be competent, or is he just not NFL made? We'll have to see. But John Harbaugh, I think he's going to want to play physical. They added a lot of pieces on that defense, but the Raiders defense is also great with Max Crosby as well, and Gardner Minshew and Devontae Adams. And I've gone back and forth on this game. But, when I've thought about it, I'm actually going to go with the Raiders in this one. I just, don't know what I'm going to get from the Chargers passing game to quite convince me that they'll win this game.
Wow.
So what do you think?
The Raiders are definitely not winning this game.
Okay.
I like John Harbaugh a lot. These teams play each other a lot, very familiar with each other. A better coach has now entered the chat. It's over.
You know what? I think in my pool league, I honestly took the Chargers, and they probably will win this game. But week 1 shit happens
so bad.
Week 1 happens, so this is just going to be a game where on our actual, sports talk on tap sheet, we're going to go different. Give me the Raiders, some tough football. Devontae Adams to barely edge it out. Max Crosby adding Christian Wilkins though to that front 7 will make this. I think that's just what it's going to come down to. Do the Chargers receiver step up? Does someone step up for me? And we'll have to see. The next game, an interesting 425 slate, probably America's game of the week on the Fox thing. Cowboys go to the Browns. I'm excited to see, but I saw on a thing, not sure how serious it is. Micah Parsons injury news.
I saw that too. I was wondering
Yeah,
if you're going to bring that
so
up.
that alone, even then, I think this is a game where it's just going to be an absolute dogfight. It's not going to be pretty football. Cleveland likes to muck it up, especially at home. They had like a historic defense last year at home, and I think they'll continue this game. For Dallas, there's just too many question marks. They're coming off of a disappointing wild card playoff game last year. I think the CeeDee Lamb, they got it done, but Dak Prescott not getting paid yet. It all just doesn't make sense. I think Cleveland, while Deshaun Watson is not that great, I think they have a great offensive line. The running game will get done. Deshaun still has weapons if he can just not turn the
Is
ball over
Chubb
7
back?
times, they'll be fine. I'll
Will
take
Chubb
Cleveland.
be back?
He won't be back for the first couple of weeks, so
Right.
they're going to be relying on Jerome Ford. But I think the offensive line will do enough. Amari Cooper, David Njoku, I think Deshaun Watson, like I said, as long as he doesn't have a 4-3 turnover game, Cleveland will be scrappy. They'll be in it until the end, and this is just one of those games where I think they win a close one.
Yeah, another one of those like later in the season, probably the Cowboys. Just right now, probably not. I like the Browns at home. It just doesn't look good for the Cowboys. I got to go with the Browns here.
All right, sweet. So another get back on track. We've been 7 out of the 8 last conjoined connected. We'll see what it continues here as Jay McDaniels makes his debut in Tampa Bay. Honestly, I liked what Tampa Bay did last year with Baker. They didn't really add too many pieces, so I don't know how high their ceiling is. But in this game with the Commanders, it's a bunch of new pieces. We'll have to see how it all meshed. Tampa Bay, I still like Todd Bowles will blitz the hell out of Jaden Daniels, as he likes to do. The defense will always be scrappy. Baker Mayfield still has Mike Evans, who's Mr. Consistent, 1,000-yard plus. Chris Godwin, Rashad White in the running game. Can they do enough? I think they will. I think the Buccaneers start 1-0 again. So Tampa.
Yeah, sleeper team honestly this year, Buccaneers. They're gonna come out fighting.
No,
I just I don't really see the Commanders doing anything special against a team that's pretty comfortable with each other.
Yep, 100% agree. And then that will leave us with the last 2 games. Sunday Night Football, a wild card rematch of last year, the Rams at Detroit. And for me, if you remember our predictions, I had the Rams win the division. And for that to happen, they got to win some games. I think this will be a dogfight similar to the wild card game. We're going to see points scored all over the place. Detroit will have a field day as well. This is just a game where I think Matthew Stafford reminds the people he's a top 7 QB in this league or wherever you rank him. Puka Nacua, Cooper Kupp, Kyron Williams. I think it's going to be a dogfight. I think it's going to come down to whoever has the ball last, really. So give me the Rams to get a little bit of revenge. I think the Lions are still going to be, a Super Bowl contender. I think we both have them making the Super Bowl and you winning them. But this is just a game where week 1, weird stuff happens. The Chiefs lost last year. I think it's going to be a shootout and, a game that unfortunately the Rams barely eke out.
Yeah, I disagree. I think the Lions are coming out with a purpose, really looking to loosen up and just show them what they're made of. Show Matt Stafford that they're still his boss. I just really like the Lions here a lot more than the Rams. I mean, the Rams have an okay team, not sold on their defense.
Their offense is high-powered. Their
high-powered offense can prove a lot, not sold on their defense.
I'm not either. I think it's going to be
a shootout, and I think the Lions defense will hold a few times where the Rams defense won't.
Fair enough. Don't blame me there. But, some upsets got to happen in week 1, especially more so than others. And then last game, Monday night, we have the New York Jets going up against the San Francisco 49ers. I think this game is going to be interesting. I think the 49ers are going to, be in there for the mix.
Yeah.
I think if you remember from me, though, I also had the Jets as well. But for me in this one, I think for whatever reason, the Niners, similar to the Cowboys, just had a lot of weird vibes this offseason. The IU contract extension took a long time. Trent Williams just got back, and, he doesn't really need much training camp because he's on the older side. But like I said, it is demoralizing to go to straight 2 Super Bowls and loss. And I think the Jets defense will kind of punch them in the mouth this game. I don't think the Jets offense will light it up anything, but you have Brees Hall, Garrett Wilson, a competent QB. I think the Jets live up to the hype in this week 1 game and go into San Francisco and win in a little bit of an upset to end week 1's crazy slate.
Yeah, I mean, Niners are a little down on their luck, given like the Super Bowl loss and all that, and people just kind of wondering what are we going to do? What are we going to do? But in my opinion, I think the Jets are just a junior league version of the 49ers in terms of their talent and their skill. I think the 49ers are going to step on the Jets, even if they are a little demoralized after that Super Bowl loss. Not confident.
Yeah, that'll be a very interesting one. A JV league. I know Jets fans in the comments, or 49, Jets fans in the comments will go crazy, especially if they pick up that win. But, with that being said, Colin, week 1 is an hour away, and for anyone watching, football's probably already started. So we're excited, kick off this 2024 season with you guys. We're going to be here every week recapping the games, and then obviously doing a game-by-game prediction, obviously. Colin, we have our games this week.
We'll get the tally going.
Yeah, quite a few disagreements, but also we went on a streak for a little bit where we were cooking. So we have in total Chiefs, Ravens, Eagles, Packers, Vikings, Giants we disagree on, Rams versus Lions, and then the Jets versus Niners, and Raiders versus Chargers. So that is my calculation, 6 games. We'll see if it goes 3-3. Do I go up 5-1 or do you go up 5-1? We'll have to see when it's all said and done. But with that being said, as always, we'll be here to recap the games next week after week 1. Like I said, just go enjoy it. Enjoy some football this weekend. Let's start a beautiful 6 months. But as always, make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoy this kind of content, and we'll catch you in the next one. Peace.